Darren McAuliffe and Impressive Racing, were they going to protest? Were they not? It was all happening only 20 minutes ago.
It certainly was, but it's great to see the colours of the Crow, who is a very, very popular figure here. Bronte Stewart, salute in the Kalgoorlie Cup. His sons, Luke and Zeke, are very, very popular figures here at the KBRC, and certainly they're going to enjoy this for many, many days to come.
Very well said, Scott. But the last of the day is the David Reed Secure Computer Recycling Handicap over the 1400 metre journey. A very progressive horse is our favourite, Californication. We'll get to him in a sec. The first horse we'll preview is a Mac for Dion Luciani and a Matty Derrick.
Well, I thought it was a really nice race for Mac. He returns to the Goldfields here. This is where he burst onto the scene. He went 2 from 2 undefeated. He's had a couple of runs here and been very impressive in both of those. He was able to win a No Metro win last year, handicap at Ascot back in May of 2023. He's here second up. His first up run, he was fair. He ran 5th of 5, should I say, but he's only beaten 2 lengths by Colossal, and he should be a big improver here.
The 2, Al Capone, was an eye-catcher last start for Josh Brown and Jared Nusky.
I certainly thought so. I'm actually going to pop him on top here as a little bit of a point of difference run in the last. Look, it doesn't take a genius to work out that Californication's clearly the horse to beat here, a 3-time winner from 7 starts, but I thought that Al Capone was very, very good last start behind Turbo Power, and at the price, I'm going to pop him on top.
The 3 is gluten-free for Peter Fernie and Braden Garth,
who was a winner of a Campbell Cup 2 starts ago, beat Birds the Word by a head, and then was beaten 4.5 by Men's Club in a Coolgardie sprint. Comes into this a month between runs.
The 4, Californication, is our favourite. Paul Rowe trains, and today Joey Azzopardi takes the reins.
Well, clearly hard to beat, there's no doubt about that. Very, very impressive in everything that he's done in a short career from what we've seen to date. A former high-price yearling, they paid around $300,000 for him, and then he somehow went through an online sale, unreserved, unraced, and they paid about $3,000 for him, so 1% of the original purchase price. They've had 7 starts with him, they won 3 of them, placed on 3 other occasions. The only time he's missed money has been beaten a length at Belmont Park by Romance in the Rock, back to 1400, back to Kalgoorlie. He is the obvious.
The 5 is Kicker Gold Sun, a $9.50 chance of Peter Fernie and Clint Johnson Porter,
who's looking for back-to-back wins to close out this program. This horse hasn't won a race in almost 700 days, but he's been very close on the last 2. Willie Pike rode him 2 starts ago, beaten a nose by No Whispering. Then Clint Johnson Porter rode him last start, beaten a short half head by Turbo Power. He's ready to win. 6,
Justamidi for Neville Parnham and Lakdar Amoli.
Always very, very respectful of the horses that Neville Parnham brings here to the KBRC, like that we saw earlier on with Holy Ghost when he was able to take that race out, and this is with Justamidi here today. Second up, should get a gun run from the inside draw.
7, Meet Joe Black, David Smith trains, Brandon Louis rides and claims 1.5 kilos.
Well, hard to knock what this horse has done in 3 runs back. First up, probably needed the run, was almost a year away from the races without a trial, then ran 3rd in the Coolgardie sprint, beaten a length and 3/4 by Men's Club, then was in the open sprint last start, beaten 3/4 by Turbo Power. He finds the front, he gives a kick, he goes around each way.
The 8 is Kakadu for Gary Bowen and Peter Nucky.
Been a while since we've seen the best of Kakadu here. He's a horse that hasn't won for over 500 days, and his best seems as though at this stage it might just be behind him.
Mac Hall brings up the 9, Abu, Keshore Duran rides,
who's had a really good day in the saddle. He was able to salute in the Ron Sayers Memorial Sprint with a horse that hadn't won in a long, long while there in 8 No Other Man. Then he was able to back it up with Holy Ghost, and he's looking for a treble here today. So for a 1.5 kilo claimer, very respectful.
10, Fleur de la Coeur for Chris Willis and Troy Turner.
Got the job done last start, but in a very lowly sort of Class 1 provincial race. This is a much, much tougher assignment for her.
The 11 male won on Wednesday afternoon, Hannon's Handicap Day. Today is a scratching, so we move to the 12. 12 bells for David Smith and Vic Corver.
Well, could well be the 4th horse here that's actually won off the 3-day backup. We almost saw one earlier on in Star Align. That would have made it 4, but so far we've only had 3 winners that are on that quick backup. Every year we come here, Lockie, we back them and they seem to win.
That is a remarkable statistic, Scott. Before we get to your top 4, I might need to get you to dive into your rich database of racing and see how many, or what is the maximum amount of winners that have won off a 3-day turnaround before. Because for mine, I've never seen 3 on the same day, not to mention the fact that Starline almost got the job done as well.
Well, we saw it a lot in Broome. We see him off the 4-day back up, Tuesday, Ladies' Day, into the Saturday for the Cup Day, but certainly for whatever reason, every punter out there knows that you see them off the what they call the double green. You see them off the back up, and you see them, especially if they're running well, you just want to be involved no matter where they go next. But we saw it earlier on today. Red Cadillac won by 4.5 on Hannon's Day, won again today. Grace de Roy was an eye-catcher in the last on Hannon's Day, won the staying race earlier in the program, and even in that same race as Grace de Roy, we saw in Irritable Rodney did it very tough, but he was just too strong for them today, so they seem to back up, and they back up particularly well, and hopefully for the connections of 12 bells, it can be another one here. But for me, Lockie, in the last, I was actually going to tip here a little bit of an upset, considering that Californication is likely to get in as short as what he is now, around that $1.80 marker.
$2.15 now.
$2.15. I'm still no knock on the favourite, but I thought that there was value to be had in Al Capone. I loved his first up run behind Talk It Up. I loved his second up run behind Turbo Power. Hopefully they can split the difference in terms of a settling position, and we can see him go well here. 2 each way. I imagine he's around that $18 to $21 marker.
$20, Scott.
$20 about Al Capone. That's good enough for me to find out. 4 Californication, no knock on him. He's clearly the horse they need to beat. 1 Mac should be a big improver here, second up. And 7 Meet Joe Black, who's run two really good on-speed performances at his last couple. He definitely has to be a top 4 proposition here. Numbers in the last, 2, 4, 1 and 7.
2 Al Capone on top for Scott. As I refresh this market, Californication is now $1.80 out to $2.20. I know you're keen on Al Capone at an each-way price, and obviously for good reason as well. He's 20 into $18. What type of price would you suggest punters to be taking about the favourite Californication?
Oh, look, I'd want around that 230, 240 marker, because he's likely to get midfield with cover. He's certainly done his best work here at Kalgoorlie. He's clearly the best horse to come out of this race. It's just whether or not you're taking a short price about a horse that's not guaranteed to get the right run. In fact, I'm seeing now we're getting 230 with Tab Touch about Californication, so that's about all I would need.
There you go, and I guess you could almost back the pair of them, because they're going to make their runs at a similar stage. It looks likely that the speed will be on, and Al Capone generally gets back in the second half of the field. Not sure what Joey Azzopardi does from barrier 8. Perhaps he takes his medicine and rides him cold. Only 3 starts ago. It was actually on your Bucks Day, Scott, if you can remember it. Californication saluted whilst we were out watching the races.
I remember it fondly. I laid him. He was $1.45 and Lisa Staples actually got suspended for the ride. If she hadn't have got suspended, she probably would have got beat, so we would have got some cash there late in the day, but that's also the last thing we would have needed at that stage of proceedings.
Correct. Wait, that is for sure and certain. But Scott is tipping Al Capone in the last of the day. Hopefully you've backed a winner here this afternoon as we hand you upstairs to Darren McCauley to call home the David Reed Secure Computer Recycling Handicap.
Runners are coming up into the gates well. Looks as though Mac is about to be taken forward. Rider of 12 bells has the black cap. Meet Joe Black, the stablemate, now being taken in hand. So the lights are flashing. The last of the day, Californication, $2.40. Fair bit of movement coming from one of the stalls there in about 4 or 5. They look right this time though. They're off racing. Fleur Delacour, Californication right back early on. First to get going is Meet Joe Black. Kicker Goal Sun broke the line quickly. So did Mac. Driving across to get up outside of Meet Joe Black. Through the first 250, a length and a half, Just a Midi and Dabu. They're followed after a length to Kakadu, 2 lengths gluten-free. Fleur Delacour's made up some ground, followed further back in the field. Al Capone, Californication, the favourite, spotting the lead of the best part of a dozen lengths as they work towards the 800. And back last of all, as they head towards the side, is 12 Bells. Boy, oh boy, they're flying along. Meet Joe Black responsible for a blistering speed. 700 from home, led the way from Mac. 2 lengths behind them. Next of all, Kicker Goal Sun. A length and a half, Just a Midi and a Boo. They're followed further back behind them. Kakadu, Al Capone on the improve around the outside. Goes forward now in front of Gluten Free. Californication trying to track them 3 deep, dropping out Fleur Delacour. And 12 Bells last at the top of the home straight now. And Mac races to the lead. Mac kicked a length and a half in front. Kicker Goal Sun in pursuit. Mac the leader. They go to the 250. Kicker Goal Sun cutting the margin. Californication further back, running on. 150 to go. Kicker Goal Sun. Mac comes back. Just a minute, he gets into the clear. Kicker Goal Sun. Mac. Kicker Goal Sun. Kicker Goal Sun in the last of the day. Gets home. Johnston Porter celebrates a day to remember. Beats Mac. Just a minute or Californication. Kakadu ran on from a Boo. They were followed further back by Gluten Free, Fleur Delacour, Al Capone, and then came the stablemates, weakening right out of it. Meet Joe Black and 12 Bells. Kicker Goal Sun, Clint Johnston Porter has kicked more than his share this afternoon. A magnificent way for Johnston Porter to end the carnival. The cup winner into Kicker Goal Sun, and he certainly has done that in no uncertain terms. Bird's the word, getting home a little earlier this afternoon. It started the day so well, and of course it just got better as it all unfolded. Climaxing with his victory in the Kalgoorlie Gold Cup this afternoon, and now the last on the program. So a treble, including the cup. Great day for Kesh Durun as well. Chris Parham enjoying some spoils also. A long neck, 3/4, 123.78. They ran home in 35.38. Wonderful battle. Mac, Kicker Goal Sun, Just a Midi, Californication. They closed late, but they were standing too big of a head start. And it was Kicker Goal Sun that got the job done in the last on the program by All-American from our trade secret, trained by Peter Fernie. Rounds out a memorable day for Kambana Lodge, of course, and all of those involved in the stable. Clint Johnston Porter home and beating Mac by All-American as well from Miss Chloe Tamash, Dion Luciani, Matty Derrick for Californication. Third by preferment from Secret Lily, Paul Rowe, Joe Azzopardi. 6, Just a Midi. Fourth, interim numbers 5146. 5146 interim placings here after the last on the card. As we head downstairs, Lockie Taylor is there to welcome them back to the yard.
Thanks, Darren. You're not wrong. A day to remember for the Fernie stable. Peter Fernie joins me now. Pete, we'll touch upon first Kicker Goal Sun. Had a lovely run in behind the speed and a wonderful ride from CJP, who's had a day to remember.
Oh, well, the way he rode it was just amazing. Just a fantastic ride. The horse doesn't try that much. He wasn't that happy to be riding it again today, to be honest, because he said he just gives up on me. But today, Clint got the best out of him. The horse done a really good job. You
made a small gear change today. The winkers went on. Was that perhaps the reasoning behind him perhaps finding the line a little bit better today?
Yeah, well, I asked Jason if he'd had a noseband or winkers or anything on him. He said he couldn't really remember, so I thought, we'll just go for the winkers and cross our fingers and hope for the best.
Only half an hour ago, your son, Luke Fernie, won the 4X Gold Kalgoorlie Cup, a race that you've won twice previously. What does that mean to you? How proud are you of him?
Yeah, it means a lot. A lot of family history, and just hope he behaves himself tonight. Just you might have to stone put the bull bit on him, Lockie.
I know I've controlled him many times on nights out, but I don't think I'll be able to do it tonight. Well done on the win.
Thanks, Lockie.
There's Peter Fernie, a very proud father after seeing his son take out the 4X Gold Kalgoorlie Cup. And Scott Embry is also now joining the other man of the moment, CJP.
Well, he'll be adopting CJP the way he's riding at the moment. Clint, that was a masterclass there. Talk us through how it ended up for you.
I just begun well. I stepped clean, lobbed in a good spot. the one I was following was going to take me everywhere. It was the horse to beat, I thought, at the time in the run, and uphill to its outside, and I thought, I've got you covered. And the minute I sort of levelled up with it, he made it a job for me.
And that's probably, considering his last 2 runs, he's sort of loomed up very similarly. He's run second, a short half head, and second beaten a nose. Maybe that's just the horse.
Yeah, he's probably not the most genuine horse out there. I definitely try a bit harder than him, but no, he put it all together today and got the job done.
How was this, a day you remember?
Yeah, definitely. It's not often you win a cow cup, and I've been trying for a while now, and we finally got one.
Congratulations, mate. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
There's Clint Johnson-Border combining with Peter Fernie and Kicker Goldson to take out the last. It's been a wonderful and fantastic week up here in the Goldfields, combining with Hannon's Handicap Day on Wednesday and Cow Cup Day here this afternoon. It's bye for now from our Sky Thoroughbred Central team, and Michael Heaton and Scott Embry will be joining you at Royal Northern for tomorrow's 8 race card.